Welcome to the Curse City Podcast. My name is Drew, self-proclaimed mayor of Mordheim, where the shiny rocks are dangerous, ratmen aren't real, and your first dagger is always free. So, end of campaign day 4. I think. Maybe 5. I don't know. Check the notes. Because I certainly have not. Today was a fun day, as always, playing Mordheim at Coliseum Comics off of East Colonial in Orlando, Florida, with the gang, Florida Mordheim crew. Rocking the Smurfs, as usual. Today I played against Glen for the first time. I didn't realize we hadn't played. And his Nippon Japanese-themed sushi boys. They're goblins. I think he's playing the same list I am. And then I also played against Maverick's Halflings, which was a great time, as it always is as well. So for starters, I rolled up late, but we got my board out, set up, and started rolling as quick as we could. First game against Glen was efficient. Glen knows the rules really, really well, obviously. He's one of our two GMs for this campaign group. Steve is running this Search for the Ultimate Cookbook campaign, and Glen has run others in the past. He's got these Japanese-themed goblins that are just really, really cool. He does a lot of detail work, man. I mean, and he uses some pretty great models. I'm not sure what they are. I know he told me, but they're definitely unique compared to all the other types of goblins that I've seen. I think he had some that were like actual sushi rolls. I don't know what's going on, but it was pretty cool. At any rate, we played the scenario where Nicodemus is on one of the warband side. He was on Glen's side because I just played this game last week and I had Nicodemus, so I figured, yep, alternate, perfectly fine. And there was a cooking pot in the middle of the board on the second floor of a building. And our goal was to get the pot, just like Glen's goal was to get the pot. He, like I said, we're playing the same list, but he went a different route. Obviously, I wanted to start with a troll. I got to have a Gargamel in my Smurf list, obviously. So I've been a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to numbers compared to some of these other warbands. Especially considering also I have been losing guys and not able to replace them, not making any money. His warband size, I think he said, was 22 because he had 2 guys out. Normally it's 24. And he does that because, of course, he has snotlings. He has 5 snotlings. 5 snotlings count as 1 warband member for the purposes of your maximum warband size and route checks. We'll get to that in a minute. He also, I think he has max squigs, so he had whatever that is, I think 5 squigs. Maybe it was 4 squigs. I want to say I saw 4, but there could have been 5. And one of them was a trained squig, so he was a little tougher. And we had just a nice big brawl. We played on, I think, Steve's board. It's got all the 3D printed terrain from, I believe, Hexengard. It's so beautiful. It's a massive table, so much detail, so many different ways of accessing these buildings and elevations and just ruined features. It's just a sweet, sweet board. So we set up. He sets up. I think he set up first. I don't really pay attention to what the other player does when I set up these Smurfs, man. They are blob in the middle, for the most part. So I had all I had changed the equipment around, as I discussed in the preview. I gave Grouchy Smurf, who's my squig herder, riding Azrael, the squig. I gave him the Unholy Relic, the Boss Pole, and the Rabbit's Foot that Smurfette is usually having. She had her last game of beauty rest as she recovered from her 2-game MIA injury. Glen was the one that said she needs her beauty rest, so I was like, that makes perfect sense. So Grouchy Smurf is my leader, gets the leadership ability, and he's got the boss pole, so I have to keep everybody around him, basically. I have my one giant Smurf group of 8 Smurfs. So they were all around Grouchy Smurf, along with Gargamel, sort of on the left center. And then I had Papa Smurf with the other henchman group of two Smurfs as his basically bodyguards. Because they were off to the kind of the right side, they would have to take animosity checks, but I figured that's fine. Why not? First turn, I try to move everybody up. The troll does not pass his leadership test. My next highest leadership in my warband is a 6, because maximum leadership for a goblin is 7. So Grouchy Smurf's only rocking a 6, which means I'm not going to pass very many of these tests for Gargamel. So I fail his test, and he does not move, unfortunately. I prefer him to just amble forward at least 3 inches, but c'est la vie. And of course, Azrael's squig movement roll is like a 10. So I point him at the wall in the building that's right in front of us so that he doesn't go the full 10. He just stops and hits the wall. So that next turn, I'll still be able to use his leadership for the troll. After that, Gargamel's probably on his own. So I move all that big blob of goblins up the left side. There's a bridge over between 2 buildings, so they're all just right under there. The Papa Smurf, he moves up and hides. Now I've got a movement of 6 inches because of this perfection cooking roll. So moving 6 and hiding is an easy choice, considering he's got an 18-inch blind charge thanks to Sneaky Git. So I position them on the right side. Failed the animosity, so one of my Smurfs, Papa Smurf bodyguards, oh no, you know what? I didn't fail any animosity. He kept getting knocked down. Struggling to remember things already. That's a great sign. So the 2 bodyguards, they run forward. Papa Smurf just moves and hides, but only being like 2 inches behind them. And that's turn 1. I have put my heroes, my 3 heroes, my 3 regular goons, Angry Smurf, Brainy Smurf, and Dr. Smurf, are all up in the tops of buildings, because in the middle, there are 2 walkways from the buildings, just off of the middle to the building in the middle where the cooking pot was. So I figured, hey, if I start up there, I should be easily able to move across there and get down and get the cooking pot. The only problem is, you're wide open. So I figure, okay, I'm going to use Angry Smurf for that particular plan, because Angry Smurf is toughness 4, 2 wounds. Hey, he's tough. He can make that walk. Plus, he's got the extra 2 inches. He's going to be running 12 inches. Like, I should be able to do this just fine, no problem. So that's what I did. I had another, I think it was Dr. Smurf was up there with Angry Smurf. And Dr. Smurf stayed in the building they originated from to take pock shots at the guy that Glen had kind of advancing towards that side building. On the other side, closer to my deployment zone, I had Brainy Smurf up in like the 3rd story of this watchtower building. So cool. This terrain is so awesome. So we had a great line of sight on everybody. These are infiltrators. And sure enough, my shooting is negligible, doesn't really do anything. And this is after Glen has his... Oh, I almost forgot again. We forgot to do the random encounter when we started. So I did one, nothing happened. Glen did one, roll a 1. So we said, okay, let's just have it come in now instead of try to do retroactive. And he rolls a rat swarm. So this rat swarm is this little square base that Steve put together and assembled. It's got like maybe a dozen or so little tiny rats on it. They're all painted. Looks awesome. It's a pretty wide base. And what it does is it comes on a table edge going down the street. And whenever it comes to an intersection, you roll and randomize, and it can turn. And it just moves 2d6 at the start of Glen's turn, every turn. So, sure enough, it comes up on the side where Papa Smurf is and those two bodyguards are. So it comes in on that side. He puts the model right on the edge of the board, and it moves up. Luckily, it doesn't go near Papa Smurf or his guards, and luckily, it does not change direction. It just keeps going straight. So not a lot to worry about right off the rip. I ran Angry Smurf into the building with the cooking pot. He just had to get down one floor to get the pot, and it'd be good. Glen moves up. Now, Glen's squigs, he's got threatened, and he's got 4 or 5 squigs, so he's moving them up. But I think he rolls a 10 or a 12 with one of them. So one of them gets way out ahead of the others. I say way out, but really he was only like 6 inches ahead of the rest of them. Maybe not. Actually, no, I take that back. He was only 3 or 4 inches ahead of the rest of them. In charge range of my wall of 8 Smurfs, but the squigs behind him were not. So I see this and I realize, uh-oh, that's not ideal. So and I rolled a 5 for my fungus brew, which is just immune to psychology. He didn't have anything that caused fear anyway, so, no big deal. He tries to shoot me a little bit. He tries to shoot Dr. Smurf up in the building, and sure enough, kills him. Out of action. Okay, that's not great. So the first guy out of action is a hero, is a goon. He manages to shoot Brainy Smurf from his perch. Now, Brainy Smurf, he is proving to be a bit of a problem, and I'll tell you more about him next game. But anyway, he shoots him out. He falls down the hatch of the watchtower. We said we'll just take an initiative check, and if he passes the initiative check, he lands on the next floor, rather than falling all the way straight to the bottom. So he passes the initiative check, lands on the next floor, he's just knocked down. Stands up, again, one of the next turns, takes his shot, doesn't hit anybody, doesn't do anything. And Glen uses, I think it's Wind of Mork or something like that. Winds of Mork. Basically, he farts at him. I think it requires a strength test, or you roll an injury. And sure enough, you take a strength test. If you fail a strength test, it's like a strength 2 hit. And I'm probably mixing up the spell, but that's all right. Whatever it was, I failed the check, and he wounded him with the spell that's like really difficult to wound. Oh, I remember now. So it's a strength 2 hit, which isn't really the strong part. The strong part is it automatically knocks your model down, which, that's how he fell the first time, because he got farted on, fell down, stood up, got farted on again. This time, he did not fall. He just went out of action from the strength 2 hit. So he did the knockdown, we did the initiative test, and he stayed there. And yeah, sure enough, he wounded me with strength 2 and just rolled another 5 or 6 out of action. So that's 2 heroes, and this is the start of his turn 2. Sketchy. He has, as I mentioned, Nicodemus. Nicodemus, on his first round of silver arrows of Arha, lights up my troll. Gargamel gets hit. He rolls a 6 for the number of arrows, so it's D6 plus 2 arrows. You use Nicodemus's ballistic skill with no modifiers, and it's a strength 3 hit. So, ballistic skill 2, not too scary. The problem is, because the troll is a large target, they decided that it would get a +1. He would get a +1 to hit it because it uses his ballistic skill. I don't think that's the right call, because Silver Arrows explicitly says that you do not apply range or cover modifiers. Now, I understand that large target isn't exactly a cover modifier, but I think the spirit of the rule is that it is a straight-up ballistic skill shot. And I think it should remain that way, because otherwise you need 4s to hit, and you're rolling D6 plus 2 shots. D6 plus 2 shots, needing a 4 is very scary, especially when Glen 2 times rolled 6s. So the first time he rolled a 6, He threw all his dice a whole bunch of times. I made, I think, one regen save. The troll has that 4+ invulnerable save, except against fire, which, has never come up. I'm sure if it does come up, I'll forget it, because those are little nuanced rules that I cannot remember when they're applicable anyway. So the first round of silver arrows, lights up the troll, takes off 2 of its 3 wounds. It's down to 1 wound, right off the rib. Okay. By the way, I did pass my next leadership test, so the troll just ran out in the middle to try to get into charge range of the right flank. He went towards the building, towards this building in the middle, which has the cook pot, and towards the door, because he was going to go in the door eventually, but you'll see why that didn't play out. I get on the left flank still, I get all my Smurfs to charge that one squig that was ahead out of position. I mean, obviously, there's I think 6 of them were able to make it into hand-to-hand. Or 5 of them were able to make it into hand-to-hand. The other 3 kind of just clumped up behind them. And obviously annihilated that squig. You can't survive that. They have 2 base attacks, 2 daggers each. They're throwing 3 dice every time they attack. There's nothing you can do for that. But it really puts me out of position, because now I have all these Smurfs lined up in a row facing off against 3 or 4 squigs. So on the left flank, again, of course, he rolls and re-rolls. He charges, and oh, by the way, because he has threatened, he actually re-rolled another one of his rolls because it was high, because he didn't want him to get too far ahead with the other one that was so far out of position. And he re-rolled it, and sure enough, he rolled lower. So this time, he gets all of them into charging the Smurfs. So a line of squigs smashes into a blob of Smurfs, and it was pretty cool. The Smurfs handled their business pretty well. I think he took 2 of them out of action. Or no, I'm sorry. He didn't take any of them out of action. I know this because Glen decided this game that all he was going to do was take out my heroes. So he took out the 2 shooters that I had, the goons up top, and then I had Angry Smurf up top still. So what I did not pay attention to was Glen also had +2 inches to his movement from his perfect cooking. And he also had guys with sprint. So sure enough, yeah, my turn 1 Angry Smurf is within inches of the cooking pot, but then he is immediately charged by someone. He loses a wound, but he manages to fight off and actually take out of action the guy that charged him. And then in Glen's next turn, he got charged again by another guy up there. And he was not as lucky. No, I take that back. He didn't actually take the other guy out of action. He just stunned him, but then was immediately charged by another guy. And that guy took him out of action. So, yeah, very scary. During this, so now I've lost 3 goons, 3 heroes. Papa Smurf casts a spell successfully, becomes Big Papa. So turn 1, he just moved up and hide. Turn 2, he had to charge. And the only charge targets, there was a blob of snotlings on my right flank with Nicodemus behind him. So, okay, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to try to charge Nicodemus, but obviously you're going to intercept. So that's exactly what happened. He intercepted with a snotling. I blend a snotling. I immediately get mobbed by snotlings. I got mobbed by snotlings, 2 snotlings and a pit fighter. Charge Big Papa, take Big Papa out of action. This is like turn 3. This is bad. So I'm not in super great shape. I have now lost 4 heroes, if you're keeping track, and this is like turn 3, beginning of turn 3. The rest of his snotlings get into it with some of my Smurfs on the right flank. The one of the bodyguards and then 2 of the other Smurfs in the left flank blob moved up. So my numbers are wrong. 2 of those Smurfs moved to the right flank, leaving 6 on the left flank. And those Smurfs mob the squigs on the left flank, annihilate all the squigs. The Smurfs on the right eventually get all of the snotlings, but it takes some doing. They also take out the pit fighter, which is pretty cool. But again, Silver Arrows on Nicodemus's second shot rolls a 6. He gets like 4 or 5 hits, and he causes, I think, 2 or 3 wounds, and I fail all the saves again. And he actually takes my troll, Gargamel, out of action. So I've lost Gargamel, and I've lost 4 heroes. I'm not looking good here. I run into the building with Grouchy Smurf on his squig, on Azrael. He bounds up the stairs, and he's right on top of the sushi crate treasure. Cooking pot, rather. All I have to do is get him out of there with that. And he's a squig. He's riding a squig, so he can leap. He can go far. I could get lucky. Unless, of course, I fail my route test. And sure enough, the first test I have to take, I fail. And I route. And just for fun, we decided to roll to see if my squig, how far away he could go. And I rolled a 10-inch move. Would have passed the initiative check that it would require for him to actually leap out of the building across the gap to the next building near my side, where there was a ramp down, so no more jumping, no more falling. And I could have just probably in one more, maybe one more, certainly 2 more turns, I could have taken that cooking pot off the board with my squig. But I failed that route check. And we took everything off the board, and that is the moment that I remembered I had given him the unholy relic, and he should have automatically passed that first route test. So, yeah. Not an ideal day. My rolls, I gotta say, my rolls were atrocious, but Glen's were also really hot. So my problem is I ended up taking out of action. I want to say there was 1, 5, a total of like 10 models. But they were all squigs and snotlings. So, and one henchman, I believe. So the rule about squigs or snotlings is all 5 of them count as 1 model. So yes, I should be getting experience for taking them out of action, which all my henchmen did that work, so no benefit there. But they only count as 1 for warband and route test purposes. So killing 5 snotlings only resulted in 1 model down from that metric. Squigs also only count as half of a warband member for the purposes of route tests. So killing 10 models, I still had only taken out of action technically 4 models. Or for route test purposes. That's not enough for him to take a test. So, I mean, obviously it's all Glen's strategy is what won him the game for sure. By having a front line of all squigs and snotlings, he can stand to lose all of them. And it doesn't do anything to him. In the meantime, he's lighting me up from the back rows with shots, taking people out of action, legitimate shooting threat, and ultimately winning the game pretty handily. My rolls were bad during the game, but they got worse in the post game. Angry Smurf, my 2-wound toughness 4 goon hero, died. Yeah. Just dead. So, not ideal. Kind of bad. Yeah, kind of bad. However, I also lost one of my Smurfs from the big blob, the the awesome henchman group that I wanted to keep. And when I rolled it at first, I technically rolled that I lost one from the group of two that I wanted to lose, but I didn't really declare what I was doing, so I just redid it, and it ended up switching, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. So I'm down to 7 from 8, and losing angry is no bueno. So what else happened? Oh, also, Brainy Smurf ended up with a nervous condition, so his initiative is lower. Brainy Smurf is a real problem. Not super happy. Not super happy with his performance. And, minimal experience all around, because I had all but one of my heroes go out of action. I only rolled 2d6 for exploration, because we do an extra one as a house roll if you have a fully painted warband. So I got I got 3 weird. I got lucky and got 3 Weirdstone shards, sold them all, and after upkeep, I ended up with 20 gold, which is great. It's great because Dr. Smurf got captured. And so I told Glen, I was like, well, if you'll let me have him back for 20 gold, I can have him. But if you want more than that, I just can't. He said, I'll take 20 gold. I said, okay, thanks, sweet. So I bought him back for 20 gold. So I made no money and lost a hero. My tank hero. Toughness 4, 2 wounds. Come on, how do you go down so easy? Positioning, bad strategy, not thinking ahead, not planning. That's how. But how? It's funny, after the 2 games that counted, I played a game that didn't count for me, but counted for Carlos. And he, at the end of it was a really fun game, but at the end of it, he's like, man, I wonder if you would have done the same things if it counted for you, because you had nothing to lose. I was like, that's right, but that's how I play every game. It's the only way to play Mordheim, in my opinion. Look, I'm all about strategy games. I love trying to be strategic and doing all that stuff. That's a lot of fun. And sometimes I play a little more strategically. But never when I play the Smurfs. The Smurfs have one mode and one goal. All ahead full, straight at the enemy as fast as you can. Don't worry so much about cover. Never hide. Just get there, get in there, and get it done. That's what we do. I'll tell you about that game later. So on to my second game. So my cooking result was, I think it was like an immune to psychology one or something. It was something that didn't actually make a difference. So I don't even think I wrote it down. And my next game was against Maverick. Maverick having these little halflings, and Maverick's had a bit of a rough go. It sounds like he's taken some losses on his warband, but everybody's got a fighting chance. It's a dice game, man. You can never count anybody out. Oh, I should note another thing. My warband rating going into that first game was 302. So I'm just not only did I get crushed, but I also dished out a whole bunch of extra experience. And it's almost all because my henchmen have so much experience. I have 75 experience just in henchmen. And they're just Smurfs, Anyway, me and Maverick set up to play. We play, what scenario did we end up playing? Oh, meat market, where there's a marketplace in the middle of the board. In this case, we actually played on my board, and we used I have a burned out building that is 3 stories tall, And we figured the basement of that could be the meat market. So we put in a donkey, 2 pairs of chickens, so 4 chickens total, but they're two each to a base. 2 pigs and a cow. And the goal is you charge these animals and you want to grab them and get them off the board. And they're mostly defenseless, harmless animals, but they are potentially chaos corrupted. So when you charge them, you have to roll a d6, and if you roll a 6, depending on the animal they are, they have a mutation. So, like, for example, the chickens grow spikes, and so every turn, you have to take a strength 2 hit from them, which is hilarious. And now that I think about it, I think that happened to my chickens. No, it just happened to his chickens. Anyway, turn 1, Gargamel I believe Gargamel moves, passes the leadership test. I have my little blob in the middle as usual, and then I've got Papa Smurf and his 2 bodyguards off to this, right in the middle as well, actually. And Smurfette is finally back in action, ready to rock. So we run as fast as we can, straight forward towards these farm animals. Papa Smurf having his 18-inch charge, and he has frenzy, so my assumption was he has to charge them. I found out later that might not be the case, but it really didn't matter. I would have done the same thing regardless. So he charges right in the middle towards the 2 piggies. He grabs them both. Neither one is chaos corrupted. He just holds them there. Nobody else obviously can get to the animals, but we all get very close. Next turn, we should be there. The animals do move D3 plus 1 inch using a scatter die. And if you roll a hit on the scatter die when they move, from that point forward, that particular animal or creature will move its full 4 inches at the every time that it moves towards the nearest table edge. And they move at the start or after both players have a turn. So I've got my guys all up there. Papa Smurf is holding two goats or 2 piggies, whatever they were, and we're looking good. My infiltrators are up in the 3rd story of a building, and they're taking shots as best they can. Not really doing anything pretty much the whole game. They're pretty useless. Then Maverick heads up. He moves forward. He's got his pigs. His pigs are scary, and he's got a wad of 4 of them that he runs right up the right side center towards the building, threatening me very, very scarily. He brings his leader straight up to the back of the building in the middle, and he's backed up by a scout or something. And then he's got all his other henchmen on my right flank. They all advance up. We exchange a bunch of shots. Nothing really happens. Nobody gets hurt. And then that's when I kind of realized, oh, wait. I forgot that Papa Smurf, when he runs into the center of the map, is going to have to charge somebody for his next turn. So sure enough, I have to charge somebody. There's a whole bunch of options. He's got some pigs in range, and he's got his leader in range. So I figure, okay, well, I may as well just charge his leader. So I charge his leader. And I failed his Idol of Gork spell. So he was not Big Papa. He's just Papa Smurf. He charges leader, fails the spell again. He's just regular Papa Smurf. My troll passes leadership. Both of my guard henchmen passed their leadership tests, and all 3 charged Maverick's ogre bodyguard. So we had an ogre bodyguard with this henchman group on my right flank moving up. I had everybody charge them that could. There's 3 of them and 1 troll, and they did. And so that was fun. Then my Smurfs that are in front of the building, they all a couple of them charge the pigs on the left flank, on the left side of the building, and essentially block that whole path. So nobody else can really get to these animals but me. One of the chickens runs out the back door directly towards Maverick's leader, but doesn't touch him. So he's, the chicken is free for the moment. But I ultimately grab all of the other animals, and none of them are chaos corrupted, luckily. Papa Smurf ran away from his two animals, but because he was touching them at the end of the turn, they didn't move. So Smurfette was able to run up and grab those same two animals and start running back, which is great. I'm thinking, okay, because for every animal we get an experience point. So if she has two, she was behind for missing 2 games. This will be a nice little experience boost for her if I can get her off the board. So she moves back with the 2 animals. Grouchy Smurf on Azrael, riding Azrael, gets one of the animals and turns around and starts running backwards. While my Smurfs on the left flank, Papa Smurf in the middle behind the building, and the troll and 2 Smurfs on the right, and the 2 Smurf heroes in the upper deck of my triplex, my townhouse building, are all holding down the right flank. So I'm thinking this is really good positioning. I'm in great shape because now I just have to move my guys off the board towards me, or in fact, one of them was moving to the left table edge because it was actually closer from where he was. And so that's what I started doing. They all started moving back. The pigs fighting the Smurfs. The Smurfs dominated, but those pigs did not want to go down without a fight. So there was I think at least 1 piggy and 1 Smurf that basically just kept slapping each other for like 3 turns. They got nothing accomplished. But eventually the other pigs died, freeing up the other Smurf on that flank to charge, and they double teamed the piggy, and they finally got the piggy down, which was, very exciting. We got, the other tricky part about this game, there's no routing. You have to roll a d6 at the start of the attacker's 3rd turn, at which point you end up with the town guard showing up and basically breaking up the fight and ending the game. On a roll of I think it's a 5+ or 6+, and it gets better for every turn thereafter. So no guards show up. I'm running away with these farm animals. He's still trying to shoot me. He's got a thief who has been trying to shoot long range at my guys with the animals, including Smurfette, and I'm just getting really lucky. He's not able to wound them, and I'm very thankful for that, because that could have been tough pill to swallow for Smurfette to go right out for first game back after missing 2. At any rate, Papa Smurf manages to stun his leader, but then and he had a scout, I think it was, moving up to grab the chickens that were by his leader. So instead of killing his leader, Papa Smurf charged the guy with the chicken, because why not? Failed the spell. Not Big Papa, just Papa Smurf. Still, Papa Smurf is rocking 5 attacks. He's got Frenzy, 2 base attacks, 2 weapons. They're clubs, so they're not getting 6-up saves. He should be able to take a guy out that's, a soft little halfling. Well, joke's on you, because he fails, and he gets struck down and knocked out of action. Papa Smurf, I don't know if Papa Smurf has lasted a whole game without going out of action in this campaign. I don't know if he has. He tends to get in there, do a whole bunch of something or a whole bunch of nothing, and then go out of action pretty much every time. And a lot of it's because of his, positioning issues especially with the +2 inches to his move, 18-inch charge, blind charge with frenzy. So he has to get out there. And I can never just leave him back and, be patient with him, because that's stupid. In this case, I don't think I really had a choice, because I had to charge. I felt like I had to charge the animals, so that drew me out turn 1. Papa Smurf is out of action. I've lost I want to say I lost another Smurf, and I lost a hero, but I can't remember. The hero was, I believe it was Brainy Smurf that I lost. I think I lost him to shooting on somewhere along the left flank. And so he went out of action, and so I'm only missing 3, but 2 of them are heroes. So that's that doesn't feel great, but we're getting into the late game here, and I'm really in a dominant position, and I've really kind of messed up Maverick's warband. He's missing a number of dudes now. I think I've taken out, I want to say 4 or 5, and it's just not looking promising. There's this one pair of chickens that he had with that scout, but I end up killing that scout by, I believe I charged him and killed him. Right? See, this is why I should be taking notes during the game. At any rate, I kill the scout. The chickens are running rampant. They're still trying to escape. His thief is doing nothing up in the upper decks, taking shots, but not wounding when he hits. And we get to this point where now my troll and those 2 Smurfs have taken out a couple more guys on the flank, and he's really got nothing left. And he's like, I want to flee. I want to rout. And I was like, man, I want to let you, because I don't want to beat up on somebody. That's no fun. I don't like the games where you cannot voluntarily leave. So I told him I'm fine with it. He asked Steve if it was okay, and he said, yeah, sure. So he fled. I ended up getting all but 2 of the chickens. I got all the animals except 2 chickens, which was really good for my experience. I ended up, because Smurfette got off the board with 2 chickens and I won, she ended up getting an advancement, which is nice. And the rest, I ended up, let's see here. Grouchy Smurf gained a wound, and Azrael gained a toughness. So those are 2 big advancements. That's awesome. I'm very happy about that. I also had a whole bunch of exploration. As a result, my heroes, though, again, Papa Smurf was fine, luckily. Oh no, I'm sorry. Papa Smurf was fine this game. In the first game against Glen, Papa Smurf is the one who was captured. And he sold me back Papa Smurf for the 20 gold that I had. This game, I believe it was Brainy Smurf that got captured. So Maverick wanted 20 gold for him. I told him, how about 15? And he said yes. So I negotiated with a Smurf's life, and I was 5 gold the richer for it. He just really wanted to get his pig back, so he needed enough money to get a pig back, because he lost his pig. He didn't really, I don't think he had many maladies from that game. No injuries. I don't think he really lost anybody except a pig, and he was able to replace that pretty easily. So that's pretty good. Could have been much, much worse. So good game. This one was a W for the Smurfs, which is nice. I got a whole bunch of premium provisions. I got 8 premium provisions, which premium provisions are nice because you can use them to increase your cooking score. Now, I already have a +4 to my cooking from my recipe pages that I have. With 8, I figured, all right, well, I'll just add 3 to my cooking roll. I rolled a 3 for cooking. Luckily, I added 3, so I ended up with a 10 total cooking score. Could have been really bad, but I'll take what I can get, I suppose. So with the 10, it's a most hearty meal. So I have +1 to all of my armor saves for all of my heroes. So that's pretty cool. I ended up getting Lad's Got Talents on the really good big blob of Smurfs, but I have to talk to Steve again about this because I'm not sure we were on the same page. I said I didn't want Lad's Got Talent because I want to just hire a new goon. And he said that's fine. But I don't know if he meant that as in, like, I don't have to keep the Lad's Got Talent. I have to dismiss the guy that got Lad's Got Talent or not. So I'm going to ask him to clarify that. Because if I have to dismiss the Lad's Got Talent henchman, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to keep him. And he got a skill, so I'll probably just give him Fungus Farmer, because, obviously. But if I don't have to dismiss him, I'm going to keep him as a regular henchman Smurf, because that's what I would prefer. And I'll just hire a new replacement angry Smurf goon. He'll be bone stock, but that's okay. As long as I got my full allotment of heroes, I think I'm in decent shape. And I definitely don't want to lose the fungus beer benefit for my henchmen, because that's like the whole reason I went with this list, is that beer is so fun. Yeah. But it was a great game. I'm excited about the next round because now Smurfette is back. I do have to miss a game with Papa Smurf. That was what happened. Papa Smurf misses a game because he got a deep wound or something like that. So, again, he has gone out of action, I think, almost, if not every single game, all but one, probably, this campaign. And he's really not that much worse for wear. He's gotten Frenzy and he's missing a game. I mean, Frenzy is an awesome injury to have. Especially with a guy who, if he doesn't have Frenzy, he's stupid. So, pretty important to keep him Frenzy. So I'm glad those two things offset and I don't have to worry about the mushroom stupidity if I don't give him a mushroom. So, for example, my mushroom farming rolls, again, awful. I got one mushroom from the first game. Partly because Angry Smurf died. So one of my mushroom farmers is out. So, yeah, it's D3 -1 madcap mushrooms for each fungus farmer, and I just rolled like 3 ones and like a 4 or something. I only ended up with 1 mushroom. After the second game, I rolled the fungus farmer again, and I only got 2. So that's kind of annoying. I've got a net of 11 gold after paying upkeep and after potentially replacing a goon with his sling. I've got a net of 11 gold. That's not great. And I'm down to, I think, 17 models on what, you really need to have a lot of models for this particular campaign. It seems like these goblins are tough. So after that, that game was relatively quick. It was only like 3 o'clock, and Carlos needed another game. So I said, well, I'll play with my warband that as if I had just brought them for my first game, and obviously just won't track anything for mine. He said that was cool. So we got his second game of the day in, and Mike and Kevin were able to get their second game together. They were both a couple games behind because of missing days, I believe. So it made sense for them to match up, and me and Carlos to match up. Love playing Carlos. He's awesome. He's a lot of fun. We have similar senses of humor as well, which is always nice when your opponent can share that with you. Share those special moments. You know what I mean, Carlos? So we got the Lost Prince scenario, where he has to escort a chef down a street. And all I have to do is kill the chef. That's it. So as usual, he sets up first in the street. He's got his blob of guys. I set up on the other end of the street, big old blob of guys. But then we realize, oh, wait, I have to start out of line of sight and hidden, because I'm the attacker, quote unquote. So I put all my guys in the bottom floor of one building, and I'm just clustered up in there. My infiltrators go into a building near the middle, 2 of them, and then Brainy Smurf goes on the left side in a building on the other side of the street. So I've got 3 guys mid-board basically overwatching the street, which is perfect because they can just shoot the chef. That's all I have to do is kill the chef, so they're going to take all their shots at him if they can. Turn 1, he goes first. He moves everything up. He has a giant spider. He's got a boss with a bunch of armor. Like he's got a decent squad, but he does not have a lot of models. He only has 12 models. That's certainly not enough. So I'm feeling pretty good about the numbers. The spider, I'm not super stoked about, to be honest with you. That thing is strength 5, toughness 5, I believe weapon skill 3 or 4. Initiative is like 4 or 5, so it always goes first. The thing is beast, and it causes fear. Oh, and my beer, so I roll for both of my mushrooms, and I roll double 5s, and as you may recall, doubles means you ruin the batch. So no beer benefits for me, no stoned Smurfs running around, just regular angry Smurfs. They don't have any booze. Gargamel does nothing, turn 1. Fail the leadership test. My Squig and Squig Rider and all my Smurfs, the rest of them anyway, all run forward towards that middle building, and they get just outside of it, because I actually get to deploy pretty far forward in this case. It's rules is written, it's 12 inches deployment zone for the attacker, but because we're playing on my board, it's a foot shorter, so we just take off 6 inches. So I had a 6-inch deployment. So after one move, I was right on that building in the middle, like just close, just outside of it. Turn 1 for him, he moved everybody up. I took a whole bunch of shots. I didn't take anybody out. I don't believe... I took a whole bunch of shots. They all went at the chef, so I didn't take him out, which kind of stinks. Start of turn 2, he's got stupidity checks to make. He passes them, and his spider climbs up and over the building and straight into combat with one of my infiltrating Smurf heroes that's up there. Angry Smurf survives turn 1 against the spider. And that allows Dr. Smurf, who's up there with him, to, instead of shooting this giant spider that's in his face, shooting at the chef again. So he does. He shoots at the chef again. Doesn't hurt him. Great. Moving over to the other side of the table for Brainy Smurf to take his shots. Well, remember how I told you Brainy Smurf has been a pain in my ass lately? So you would think having Eagle Eyes is great. Having Infiltrate is great. Having Scale Shear Surfaces is great. But he also has Frenzy from an injury, which is not so great, because that means that when he's in these beautiful shooting positions, and let's just say Carlos moves up a little trio of sluggas, or 2 sluggas and a hero, up that side to within 5 inches of the building that I'm in. Well, that just means that Brainy Smurf is going to, instead of doing the smart thing and using his 4 ballistic skill to shoot at them, he's going to climb down the front of the wall, climb out of the window, and charge them. So that's what he did. He climbs down, he charges them, and he gets wrecked for it. I mean, yeah, that tracks. Then the next turn, obviously the giant spider, again passes his check. At some point, and I'm not really clear on what happened with this giant spider. This giant spider is fighting heroes in the 3rd floor of the building. And in the bottom of the building, I have now filled in with my Smurfs, with my impromptu leader being Grouchy Smurf riding Azrael, and the Smurfs are positioned to get up to the top to try to fight the spider. I have kept Papa Smurf back this whole time. And this is like the first, well, I guess the second game really doing that. Because I did not want to have Papa Smurf charge out in this thing. I wanted to get Papa Smurf into a position where pretty much all of Carlos's warband is within 18 inches so that I have my choice of charging whomever I want. And with the hope being that I can tie up all of his other models and charge and kill the chef. That's how you win. That's how you win, as the attackers, killing the chef, the lost prince. So I keep him back just another round or two. This turn, I fight the spider. He goes first because he's got higher initiative, and he knocks Brainy Smurf, Angry Smurf, out of the building. So he stuns him, and he falls out of the building because he falls out. We decided he could fall out the window, so he took an initiative test and he fell. He took a strength 5 hit, landed on his leader, landed on Carlos's leader, and didn't die, just remained stunned. Carlos' leader, we decided, obviously he landed on him, so he should take a hit. And Carlos was like, well, that's Necromunda, that's not Mordheim. And I was saying, wait a minute. I don't know which game it is, candidly. But if you fall on somebody, it hurts. So he's got to get hit. And by the way, while we're having this conversation, I had no idea we were talking about his leader being the one getting hit. I didn't realize it was him. So we ask, and the rules panel decides that, yes, you take a single hit, the same strength as the person that fell took, which makes absolute perfect sense. And I rolled a 1, so it didn't do anything anyway, luckily. So now, after my turn, where I got knocked out of the building, then it was his turn, Carlos's turn. He obviously charges and kills the stunned Angry Smurf on the ground. His spider charges. Dr. Smurf rips him to shreds. I take initiative checks for like 4 of my Smurfs that are in the front of this building to see if they could charge his leader, who was outside, but he was within 4 inches. Didn't have line of sight, but he was within 4 inches. I passed all of the initiative checks. His leader causes fear, so I had to pass fear checks as well. I passed all but 1. So I mob his leader with 3 Smurfs. I guess he wasn't really anticipating all these past fear checks. He was anticipating better rolls. My rolls were low, so that's good for leadership checks. And I had 3 of my Smurfs downstairs pass leadership checks to charge the spider. So 3 Smurfs ran up the ladder, charged the spider. Then I had Azrael left. Another Smurf in there, they could see out of the window. They could charge another goblin, so they charged out the window. And I think I got 2 more Smurfs in combat with 2 more goblins. Azrael now, though, can't really do anything because he's blocked by all these chargers. So what I end up doing is... Sorry, I am in the car, as you know. What I end up doing is running him out of the door of that building in the middle, basically into the middle of the street. And I'm thinking, like, okay, I just got to be hopeful, hope against hope that he makes it, because he's very important to me. That's what I should have thought, but I didn't have any thoughts in my head at all. I just thought, okay, go into the street, get in a fight. Only after he got charged by 2 sluggers and a hero did I think, wait. Oh, whoops. So now the spider gets chopped down to 1 wound. I need 6s to wound this thing, but I have 3 attacks. And they're daggers, so he's getting the 6-up saves, but 3 guys, 3 attacks each. I got a few 6s. I managed to cause 2 wounds that he didn't save. The 3 Smurfs that charged his leader annihilated him. The first one stunned him, and then he got stomped on. And that changed the dynamic completely. because now he's not passing any of his stupidity checks because his leader's gone. So his spider is not going to do anything, even if it gets out of combat, or so we think. And he's got another hero that's got stupidity, so that's scary. At any rate, he countercharges on his next turn, and I don't think he managed to do anything to my Smurfs. It was really some bad rolls, I think, on his side, and I survived a lot more than I think I should have in this particular turn, from what I recall. My troll, by the way, has done nothing all game. He moved forward one time because of stupidity. He moved 3 inches forward, and that was it. The rest of the time, he failed all of his checks, and he just stood still. He was out of range of my quote-unquote leader, who has a leadership of 6 anyway, so, no big deal. He was not expected to do much. My turn rolls back around, and I have the spider passes his leadership check, but doesn't do anything. He only hits one of them, and I don't. And he kills. He does do something. He kills one of the Smurfs. He has one hit. He kills one Smurf. My turn comes back around. 2 Smurfs left. He kills one Smurf. I strike back, and I knock him down. I knock down his spider. I take off his last one and knock him down. So now my turn comes back. I'm rolling 6 dice. I have 2 guys with 3 attacks. I just need 1 6, and I get 1 6. He gets his 6-up save, and he fails it, and I kill his giant spider. It was so awesome. It was so much fun. After that, I went forward. So the guys that were fighting Azrael and Grouchy Smurf, they managed to stun Azrael, because attacks are randomized. At first, we thought they were only randomized in shooting, but they're randomized in close combat too. So he managed to stun Azrael, knocking me off. He didn't get hurt in the fall, luckily, but now the rest of my Smurfs have come out. Azrael is stunned on the ground. He gets killed, but Grouchy Smurf is still up, and now Papa Smurf has moved his way up the side, and he's in charge range of everybody. So I think this is like turn 5, maybe. I get all my charges out there with all my Smurfs. I tie up all of his guys. The only guy that's not tied up, really, is his shaman and the chef. So Papa Smurf runs around the back. He did pass his spell. He was Big Papa, so I replaced him with my Big Papa model. Ran around 18 inches, charged the chef, stunned him. Now, I already used my Unholy Relic to pass my first route check. So when it came back to my turn, if I failed this route check, I lost. If I passed it, I won, because the chef is knocked down and Papa Smurf is in combat with 6 attacks. I just need to wound him. And I'm strength 4 against toughness 3. I just need a 3. Sure enough, I fail my first route test with like a 10, but I have a rabbit's foot. I re-roll it, and I get a 3. I passed the test. Didn't do any of the other attacks for any of their combats. Just rolled the attacks against for Papa Smurf against the chef. Kill the chef. End of game. Amazing, amazing day. I got 3 games in, which is awesome. Luckily, the spider survived to fight another day, so I didn't hurt Carlos too badly. I didn't want to hurt Carlos, obviously. I don't want a game that doesn't count for me to be devastating for somebody else, especially if it doesn't matter for me. But he did lose. I think he lost a henchman. He didn't lose anything. He lost a new henchman who only had like 2 or 3 experience. More importantly, because he had such a small warband, he got 3 extra experience for everybody from an underdog bonus. So for him, he was getting, like, half of his guys got 2 levels, 2 advancements in this one game. It was an awesome, awesome, awesome game. I am now home. I have got to take a squeege, so I'm going to go inside. Thank you for listening again, and I can't wait till next time. Take care.